You're listening to Earl Grey here on SYN with myself, Caitlin. Sam is in the hot seat now for an interview instead of myself. Thank you for joining us on your own show, Sam.
Well, hey, it is always a treat to have you on, Earl Grey, and thank you so much for giving me a chance to chat about my experiences.
Awesome. So how did you first get involved at SYN?
Basically, I heard about SYN twice in 1 week. This is back when I was in high school, and basically, I can't remember whether it was like a substitute teacher or Valley Youth, like one of the staff members of Valley Youth. This is the youth organization in the city of Moonee Valley. Basically, I heard from two different people about SYN in the same week. And at the time, I wanted to get experience in live television production. And 1700 was SYN's flagship TV show. And yeah, that sounded really cool. And I decided to head along to the information sessions and the inductions.
Awesome. And so what came out of that? I heard you were involved in, was it 1700?
Yeah, so basically I got involved in 1700. This was back in 2017. So at the time it wasn't an RMITV co-production. It was run completely by SYN, and we would record live to air in the old Channel 31 studios. So basically just think about like we were right next to Flagstaff Station. Basically, like I think it was level 11, if I remember, of this big like skyscraper building. And yeah, there was a full TV studio there. And yeah, basically we'd all get involved in like setting up the studio and packing up the studio after the recording. And yeah, it was a really cool experience. I started out as a crew member, and then they one day the host was sick and they didn't have anyone to replace her. So basically there was myself, I think maybe two other crew members, and the executive producer. And the executive producer was going to go on air and be the host for that episode when I decided to pluck up the courage and ask, "Oh, hey, could would you mind if I hosted today's episode?" And the executive producer Carlin actually said to me, "Oh my God, I hate hosting. Yes, please."
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'd come from high school. So basically I would come straight from class, hop on the first train into the city. I didn't have a spare change of clothes with me. So now one thing I'm always grateful for my school uniform for this is our school wanted to be different, right? And we wanted to stand out by having our own like stripes that defines what our school was. So it wasn't like, I had a school dress with the logo on it. And so the only reason why I could go on air is because my school dress didn't have a logo on it. Because if it had a logo, then that would be seen as like advertising.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically because my school dress didn't have a logo, I was good to go. And yeah, I recorded that first episode as a host in my school dress.
Amazing. That's such a good story. What other shows were you involved in at SYN? I know you've done a few since 1700 as well.
Yeah, so basically, I did continue on for two seasons of 1700, and it was during my second season, or was it actually three seasons? Okay. But yeah, basically I continued, it was in 2018 when I heard about or when I thought about, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have like a SYN panel at Oz Comic Con? And I got talking with people and they said, hey, have you been involved with the radio side of things? And at this stage, the only radio experience I had was that one induction session where we were taught how to use the panel. And I'd basically forgotten everything because by that point, I'd done it maybe like 7 months ago. And yeah, I didn't remember anything. So yeah, but as I got talking with people, they said, "Oh, hey, I think you might be interested in Art Smitten." So Art Smitten is SYN's arts and culture show, which is super, super cool. And I thought, yeah, if I'm going to be involved with any show, I'm picking Art Smitten. And so, yeah, I got an Art Smitten and I made some really good friends on the show. And yeah, and I ended up being involved with the organization of that Oz Comic Con panel. So yes, it did end up happening in June or yeah. Oh wait, no, actually I think it was early July 2018. And yeah, I was representing Artsman on that panel, and we also coordinated it with Player One, which is SYN's gaming show. So yeah, honestly, it was a lot of fun. And then I also continued on with Artsman beyond that. And the next year we went back and we recorded some, like, what do you call it? Like out in the field interviews. So we went back, I spoke with Isabel Carmody, the author of the Ober Newton Chronicles. And I also got to interview a cosplayer as well who was dressed up as Princess Anna from Frozen. So yeah, honestly, those were the days, kids.
Yeah, I'll bet. And now you're doing Earl Grey. So how did you come to do this show?
So basically, last year I started the Bachelor of Communication Media at RMIT. So I know a lot of people always ask me, like, what is your major? Media is my major. So this is essentially anything from screenwriting to making like screen content to making radio content. Right now I'm actually doing a radio class. But yeah, going back to it, basically I had done the podcasting class. This is like an elective subject. And I had really, really been enjoying it. And I'm like, okay, I really want to get behind the panel. Or I want to get behind the scenes a bit more. And I want to be, in charge of running my own show and, making it from start to finish. And so basically, I went to SYN and basically said, "Hey, this is my idea for a show. What do you think?" And they said, "Yeah, that sounds pretty cool." And yeah, they slotted me in originally on a Tuesday afternoon, and then now on Saturdays, which is really cool. But yeah, basically I started in February, and yeah, we've been pretty lucky. We've had a guest, or at least one guest in every single episode since the second episode. The first one was kind of a, hey, I'm flying by the seat of my pants, so let's talk about let's have a solo host discussion about anything. But yeah,
That's great.
honestly, it's been so much fun.
That's the best. One guest per episode is very impressive. Speaking of guests, who would be a dream guest on your Earl Grey show or just in general?
Now, actually, in going back to 1700, I actually did answer this question when we had like our 2017 like last episode of the year. And I had a very different response to that question than what I've got now. And basically, I said that my dream guest would be Asa Butterfield. So you might know him from Hugo and Sex Education. But yeah, basically, I was just thinking, yeah, hey, let's talk to a cool person. But now that I'm older and I've thought about it a bit more, honestly, I'm not sure if Asa Butterfield just sat down in front of me and I had to interview him, I would not know where to start with that interview. He seems like a really cool person, but again, I this is the kind of interview where I would need to prep and plan. And yeah, again, I would find myself very much stressing over that interview. So yeah, to tell younger me, basically the level of stress that an interview causes does not necessarily mean it's going to be a great interview. So when I'm thinking about a dream guest for my show, honestly, again, there are so many amazing people out there, but I would love to chat with Maisie Peters. I love her music and she seems really, really cool.
Well, Maisie, get on the phone lines so we can hook up an interview with Sam here. Thank you, Sam, for joining me today on your show, Earl Grey. Thank you for having me as well. We'll be back after this break.
Thank you.